Thank you guys for joining the session with us. We are joined by Ms. Shruti Shah, a student visa consultant at Aussizz Group Clayton. With over 4 years of experience in the international education sector, she has played key roles in the student service and the visa lodgements. She is an expert in understanding of student visa requirements and successful visa outcomes. We will also be joined by Ms. Yutin Chen, a registered migration agent based in Western Australia with more than 5 years of experience in the Australian migration and education industry. She is an expert in general skilled migration, family visas, AAT matters, employee sponsorship visas, and handling complicated skill assessment requirements for various occupations. Our experts will be waiting to take your questions. Please post your questions in the chat box and they will be answered all the queries at the end of the session. Also, we have some very exciting giveaways for our attendees. We want to take a session deep and interactive, and we also encourage questions and feedbacks. We have bumper cash prizes to claim for the ones who have leave the most descriptive review under the Facebook post. Tag your friends on the links we'll be giving you. And now will be able to start a session. Thank you.
Thanks, Sukmani. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining our the last day of the Education Summit. My name is Yutin, and I'm from the Aussizz Group Perth office. I'm the registered migration agent. So like what Sukmani just said, if you have any question, feel free to leave a comment. And later on, once we finish our slides, we will, if we have time, we will give you the answer one by one. If not, we should be able to give the comments later on, right? All right. So I will first start to share my slides to everyone. Okay, so I would like to first start with the basic introduction about the student visa. What is the student visa for, and what the student visa will let you do? The purpose of the student visa is for applicants who wants to study here, to study Australia. So if you have already enrolled in an eligible course of study, then the next step for you to do is to apply for the student visa and come to Australia to start your study. The duration, so here I would like to just quickly mention what is an eligible course. An eligible course here means this course is 𝐬𝐞𝐬𝐢 registered for international students. So let's say if your course is not 𝐬𝐞𝐬𝐢 registered, actually that means maybe this course is not for international students. You may only have access to the online study, but you will not be able to get student visa with this course. Okay, so the duration of the study, the student visa, is up to 5 years, depending on your course that you enrolled. If your course is 2 years, then you will be able to get 2-year student visa. If your course is, let's say, 4 years, then you should be able to get 4 years student visa with 2 to 3 months extra time for you to stay here. And once you have got the student visa, with this student visa, you will get the multiple travel rights. So you can travel in and out of Australia multiple times while the student visa is still valid. And also you can include your family members in this student visa. Here, the family members means your spouse, your de facto partner, and also your dependent child. And also, currently, temporarily, the student visa gives you the full work right. But remember, this is just a temporary measure subject to be reviewed in April 2022. So previously, before this COVID-19, there is a work limitation on your student visa. So generally, student visa holders are only allowed to work for no less than 40 hours per fortnight. The only exemptions apply to PhD students or master by research students. Those students, they normally they have the full work right. And also if you are the dependent, if you are the spouse of the students who are doing master by coursework, master by research, or PhD, the adult dependents has the full work right as well. But currently, due to the workforce shortages, the government has really removed this work limitation. So all of the student visa holders, including main applicants and as well as the adult secondary applicants, all of the student visa holders, they can work unlimited hours. But again, this is just a temporary removal, which will be reviewed in April. All right, and next, I would like to give you more guidance about what is the requirement for a student visa. So the general requirement is, first of all, you must age 6 or older. So which means you must be at least at the school age or more than 18 years old. And also you must have already obtained a COE, which is like you must have already enrolled into a 𝐬𝐞𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐭 registered course. If you are going to apply from overseas, like offshore, then confirmation of enrollment is a must. You must provide the confirmation of enrollment along with the visa application. If you are currently in Australia, if you apply onshore, that is fine. Let's say maybe your current substantive visa is going to expire in 1 or 2 days, while your college or your university, they might need extra time to issue the confirmation of enrollment. It's fine. You can just go ahead, apply for your student visa with the offer letter, but you still need to submit your confirmation of enrollment as soon as you obtain, and it must be before the visa decision is made. Apart from that, you need to have purchased the proper insurance, which is the overseas student health cover. And here the OHSC must be purchased all upfront for the whole duration of your study. So if your course is 2 years, then you have to purchase the full 2 years student health cover. If your course is 4 years, then you have to pay the 4 years student health cover all at once. And once you apply for the student visa, you will be able to get a health ID for you to arrange your health examination as well. If you you have already applied another Australian visa within the last 12 months and has already done a former health examination, then the former examination result may be able to be used. Okay, so you might not be requested to do a new health examination again. And the last but not least is the GTE document. So GTE stands for Genuine Temporary Entrant. Make it easy. That's your personal statement. So you have to write a very proper statement by demonstrating like your own background. Who are you? Your education, your employment history. What is your purpose? What is your intention to study in Australia? Why did you choose this course? And what your future plan is. So stuff like that. Later on, my colleague Shruti, she will give us more deeper introduction and guideline on how to prepare the proper GTE. And there are 2 more documents that are optional that are not applying to all the applicants. So that will be only compulsory for assessment level 3 applicants. These are the English report, which is the IELTS, PTE, TOEFL report, the Cambridge English report, or the OET report, and also the evidence of financial capacity. So these 2 documents, they are not compulsory for everyone. They will be just a must for assessment level 3 country. The assessment level 3 applicants. So what is assessment level? Assessment level is a combined immigration risk outcome of the applicant's education provider and the applicant's nationality. So it is classified into 3 levels. from 1 to 3. So the higher the level, the greater and the more documents you are required to provide. So here I will give you an example. If you are from a level 3 country, if your country is assessed as level 3, and your enrolled university, your enrolled education provider is a level 1, then you will be assessed as level 1 applicant, which means financial capacity and the English requirements are optional. Okay, so it's not compulsory, but we do recommend, if you can, better to provide these two, because the more documents you provide, the more genuine you will be assessed. But if you are from level 3 country and the education provider you choose is also from level 3 or even level 2, then you will be assessed as assessment level 3 applicants. In this case, the financial capacity and the English requirements are the must. You must provide when you apply for the student visa. So if you're unsure which assessment level you will be assessed as, please contact us, contact me. We will give you clear guideline. All right, so in our experience, so financial part and these GTE parts, these two parts are the most crucial parts for the students' visa applications, and also these two parts are the sections where most of the confusions and the questions come from. So today, me and Shruti, we will mainly discuss on these two parts and give you very clear information on how to prepare the proper financial capacity document as well as the GTE part. So for the financial capacity, you have 4 options. You have 4 options to choose from. You just need to meet one of these 4 options. But for options 3 and 4, I'm not gonna talk too much today, because that will only apply to very limited amount of people, such as the exchange students or students who are sponsored by their home country governments. So option 1 and option 2 are the most commonly used source of financial capacity evidence. The first one is sufficient to provide sufficient funds to cover your travel costs and also your next 12 months of living cost, tuition fee, and also if you're going to include your school-aged dependent in the application, you need to provide 12 months of schooling costs as well. Okay, so option 1 means you have to show enough funds in your account. Okay, that you have enough money to arrange your travel, to arrange the next 12 months living and the tuition fee for yourself, as well as the schooling fee for your dependents, if you have any school-age dependents. Apart from that, the option 2 is the evidence that you meet the annual income requirement. So if you do not want to show the funds, you can choose this annual income. You can show your proof of annual income to meet the certain requirements. The option 3 is an acceptance advice of secondary exchange students form for secondary exchange students only. And the option 4 is a letter of support from Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade or Department of Defense. So you can see option 3 and 4, they are rarely, that will be rarely applied to very certain amount of students. So I will mainly only talk about option 1 and 2. So option 1, how much fund do I need to show? So here you can see I've already listed out a clear calculation table for you to use. The funds can be classified into 3 sections. The first one is the travel cost. So if the applicant is unsure, is in Australia, then you just need to show roughly $1,000. Keep $1,000 budget as your one-way ticket cost. That means you have the enough travel cost for you to go back to your home country once you finish the course. But if you are currently offshore, then the cost must be doubled, because you have to show that you have enough money to travel to Australia and also travel back to your home country. So that is roughly $2,000 per person. And the second part is the living cost calculation. Starts from October 2019. The 12-month living cost is $21,041 AUD for the main student visa main applicant or the student guardian visa applicant. And for the partner or the spouse, it is $7,362. For the child, it is another $3,150 per child. If your child is at school age, then that's another $8,000 per year for each child. So let me give you an example. If I'm currently in Australia. If I'm gonna apply for the student visa and I wish to include my husband and also my 2-year-old son in, so here is my calculation of my fund that I need to provide. So for the travel cost, it is $1,000 per person because we are all in Australia. And so $3,000 in total for all three of us. And secondly is the living cost, $21,041 for me, $7,360 for my husband, and also $3,150 for my son. Because my son is only 2 years old, he's not at the school age, so I do not have to show any schooling costs. So hopefully help everyone now have a clear understanding of how much fund you need to show. All right, so after figuring out how much funds, exactly minimum how much fund you need to show, now we move on to the next topic. What kind of documents, what kind of evidence of funds that you can use to show you really have that amount of money? So the most commonly used documents would be money deposit, the bank balance, financial institution or government loans, the tuition fee payment receipt, and the scholarship or sponsorships. I would like to make just a short comment on the tuition fee payment receipt. What does that mean? So most of the students, when they are enrolled into the course, they should have already paid partially on their tuition fee. Let's say if a student have already paid the first semester tuition fee, then you actually can use the payment receipt of your first 6 months tuition fee plus just the amount of the next 6 months tuition fee as your tuition fee, as the fee of your next 12 months. Okay, so you don't have to show the amount of the whole 12 months tuition fee again. And here, money deposit and bank balance are also where the most confusion come from. There are so many students, they would like to ask, okay, Yutin, so if I do not have that amount of money, can I seek for someone's help? Can I ask for my parents or my other relatives or even friends' help to support my financial part? The answer is yes or no. So I will give you a detailed explanation. So when the case officer assess your evidence of funds, apart from the amount of funds, so of course the evidence of your fund you show definitely need to meet the minimum requirement of the funds. The calculation just now we have already mentioned. So apart from that, another main part for the Department of Home Affairs assess is whether you really have the genuine access to these funds. So you and your accompanied family members must be able to assess the funds while you're in Australia. So when considering whether the funds will be genuinely available, few parts will be taken into consideration, such as the nature of the relationship between you and the person who is providing the funds, your income, assets, and employment, or those of the person providing the funds, your previous visa history, and that of the person providing the funds. So if the money deposit or the funds, the bank account is under your name or under your spouse or your parents' name, normally that can generally satisfy the genuine access requirements because it's your own account, it's your own money, or it's your family member's money. But if the funds is in another person's name, then additional evidences will be required. So here, normally we would suggest if you need someone's financial support, do not choose friend of you, do not choose a friend, do not choose the expanded relative. Better to just choose your blood relative. What is blood relative? These are your parents, your grandparents, your uncle, auntie, and your grandparents. Oh, sorry, your uncle, auntie, and your siblings as well. So if you cannot provide the proof of funds or the money deposit by yourself, then seek your blood relatives' help. Better to not choose friends. Definitely, please do not choose the friends. That may cause lots of issues. And better not to choose the expanded family members' help as well, such as your, let's say, your cousins, because your cousin is considered as your expanded relative. And in most of the cases, your cousin should be just around the same age as you. They are just your peers. They might also just studying and not settle down. They might also study in their own country or even overseas and under the financial support by their family members. So if in this case, it doesn't make sense, like how he can support you financially. All right, so better to choose the blood relatives help. Here I give you 3 examples. These examples are quite easy, but very straightforward to understand. So from example 1 to 3, the genuineness is actually gradually decreased. The first one is the most genuine one, and the third one is the very weak case. So the example 1 is this applicant, he provide the money deposit under a relative's name, and he is gonna live with this relative in Australia as well, and the relative will support all his costs and expenses in Australia. So this one is quite strong. Why? Because first of all, this person, this sponsor is his relative, and also they're gonna stay very close. So it does make sense, like it's very easy to show this applicant really has the genuine access to the relative's funds or money deposits. And the documents the applicant just need to show is just maybe an affidavit from the relative demonstrating that their relationship and the willingness from the relative that, okay, I'm willing to support the applicant for all his costs and expenses in Australia. So an affidavit or any other proof of their family relationship will be supportive. And the second one is the applicant also provides the money deposit under a relative's name, but maybe this relative is just is not that close. They live in different states and they do not contact each other often. They might just contact, let's say they just contact each other through the phone or through the emails. So that may raise one issue is if the department wants to contact the relative to verify whether he is really going to provide the financial support to the applicant. If they couldn't reach him, that might be a problem. Okay, they might question, okay, is the applicant really have the genuine access to the money if they don't like physically close to each other and they only contact each other sometimes? If there is an emergency happen, can the applicant really contact the relative and get the money? That might be a question. And example 3, applicant C provides the money deposit under a friend's name. He got to know this friend just a few months ago, and they normally keep in touch just by WhatsApp. So this is the source of help that we will never recommend because it sounds really ungenuine. A friend's help is definitely not strong enough to show that you really have genuine access. Okay, because you don't have any blood relationship, you're not even any family related, and also you just got to know each other. You're not even close friends. All right, so definitely better not to choose example 3, this type of help from the friend. All right, and in addition, the Department of Home Affairs will also assess how long the money deposit or the funds has been sitting in the account, and also the source of the money, like where the money comes from. So these things will be assessed by the case officer as well. Even if this money, the account or the deposit is under your name, is from your account, they need to see, the source of income and how long the money has been sitting in your account as well. So whether the money is a lump sum payment in an account, or is there a savings history to accumulate the funds and where the funds comes from, and also how long the money has been in the account. Here I've listed out 3 examples again, and the genuineness again gradually come down from example 1 to example 3. The first one is the most genuine one. Applicant provide the money deposit under his own name, perfect, and the money was regularly deposited from several of his family relatives in the last 6 months. So this is perfectly fine. It can clearly show to immigration, to the department that, okay, this applicant, he's obtaining the help, the financial support from his relatives regularly in a very long term. Okay, so this is a perfect example. And then example 2, if the applicants provide the money deposit under his wife's name, there's no problem as well. However, the money was just transferred recently, in recent 1 month, from few of his family relatives. So here, there might be one issue, which is the money was just accumulatively received in a very short period, which is just in 3 to 4 weeks. So here, in order to avoid any risk, we generally suggest you to start to prepare your bank statements, or your start to prepare this deposit thing at least 3 months beforehand, 3 months before you start your student visa application. So better to provide at least the 3 months bank statements instead of just a brand new one, like waiting 1 week, or waiting 2 weeks time, 3 weeks time. It will be a bit too short. And example 3, applicant provides the money deposit under his own name, no problem, but the funds is a lump sum payment transferred into the account just 1 week ago. That actually happens to lots of applicants, and in most scenarios, the case officer will ask for more information on this. Why? Because they will question you, where did you get this money from? How come you suddenly got such a large amount of payments in a lump sum format, and just recently and just suddenly? Like, they would definitely question the source of your income, where it comes from. All right, so be prepared. If you need to provide the lump sum payments, you'd better to prepare the explanation where this money comes from. Okay, so those are all the top tips and the details I would like to share with you about the option 1, how to prepare enough funds, and what kind of documents that you can use to show the funds. And the option 2 is the annual income requirement. So instead of providing the evidence of funds, you can also choose to provide these kind of documents. For single students, okay, you just need to provide that a personal annual income of at least 60,000 AUD. If you're going to include any dependents into your student visa, then the personal annual income requirement is at least 70,000 AUD. Be careful here, the income must be a personal income. It cannot be a company income or any corporate income. And also, the income can be from your spouse or your parents. But if your spouse is going to be included in your student visa, then the income can only be shown from your parents. If your parents are both working, no problem, their combined income can be considered to meet the annual income requirements. And in terms of the evidence, please be sure that you need to provide the official government documents, such as the tax return documents. So as a supporting document, you can feel free to provide the payslips, the job offer, or even a bank statement. But those documents can only be used as the supporting documents. Those documents cannot be used to replace the official document, which means the tax documents is a must. All right, so I believe that's all for the financial part. And now I will pass the topic to Shruti, and Shruti will give us more information about how to provide a proper GTE.
Thank you, Yuting, and thank you, Suk, for a lovely introduction. I'm Shruti Shah from Aussizz Group Clayton Office. I'm a student visa consultant over here. So, as Yuting has mentioned, GT is also a mandatory factor in student visa lottery. So, GT is a key factor for visa success. Today, I will explain about how to write GTE, why GTE is important, and what should we include in GTE. So let me just share my screen. So GT stands for Genuine Temporary Entrant. GT is a document to explain the intentions of individual who entered Australia on a temporary basis. GTE document contains the few factors, which is applicant circumstances in home country, applicant's potential circumstances in Australia, value of course to the applicant's future, and immigration history. So we'll explain you everything in detail, all these factors. So first of all, applicant's circumstances in home country. So, while doing this course and after completion of this course, what is the future of this course after going back to country? What will be the value of this course? What will student do after completing this course? And even the applicant circumstances, family ties, financial ties, and social ties in back home. Their parents were there in country, so they can go back and they will take care of the parents. So that's the family ties and financial ties, or student is having property or financial bank balance and everything on their name. So that's the financial ties as well. So applicants' potential circumstances in Australia. Applicants are there are so in this there are two cases. The one student is having their siblings over here, their cousins over here, so that's their strong family ties over here in Australia, and their so if student is and the other scenario, student will complete the course and student's job perspective in Australia, whether in their home country. Value of the course of the applicant's future. So this one student will complete their course. What is the value of their course in their home country or the third country? And even on over here in Australia as well. So one student will complete their course. They can work on a post-study work visa over here in Australia, but in the GT document, we have to mention that a student will definitely go back and serve the country, their own home country as well as students' immigration history. So students' immigration history, there are few applicants who are having few rejections in their visa history, or they have gone on a different visas on uh, their stay in Australia. So while lodging the visa or making the GTE, we always recommend student to mention about their refusals or mention about the refusal reason. What was the reason for the refusal and what were their circumstances for that refusal or their uh, visa lodgement details and everything. So going further to this high relevancy areas for the GT assessment. So while assessing the GT, a case officer, so immigration will always consider these points to uh, check about the any individual's history or their employment over here in Australia. So first of all, employment, you always mention about your employment over here in Australia after your course completion and what is the value of your course after going home, regarding the course and your employment in your home country as well. If student is earning also earning that minimum wages over here in Australia, which is not their future in future salary in their home country. So we will recommend student to mention about their statistics and everything in back home country future future of the course and jobs as well. Academic history. So if there is a student from education background and student is having a management work experience in between, and then now student wants to apply for the IT course. So student can change the background, but we will recommend student to mention that why you wanted to study IT program now. If you have any work experience in between in management field or IT field, then you can go for IT program, and what you will achieve after completion of this IT program. Length of a stay in Australia. So if you are staying in Australia on different temporary visas, that is also a high risk criteria for your GTE, that you are um, just changing visa status again and again, and you are trying to stay in Australia on temporary visas. Your family and social ties, so strong incentives to stay. There are few applicants who are having their blood relatives, their siblings, and everyone over here in Australia, and they have gone through different pathway and get a permanent residency. So there is no problem in getting permanent residency over here. But while writing GTE, you have to show some financial ties or family ties back home as well, that you will go back and you will take care of your family, or you will take care of your family by financially. Relationship status. So there were there are so many applicants, they come here on as a single, and they get married, they go on a student dependent, they again get divorced, or they get separated, and then again they go on their own student visa. So this immigration and relationship history, it is also a high risk area for the GT assessment. Your travel history. Uh, there is applicant. He came here in Australia 2014, and he was just transferring different visas and never visited home country or never visited family back home. So that is also high risk, that you haven't meet your family since 7 years. So you are not having any family ties over there in your country as well. Long-term visas. So while applying your student visa, you have a goal to apply for permanent residency as well. But so it is also mandatory to just go on a relevant student visa or relevant course for the visa purpose. You choose a relevant course for the visa purpose as well, so you can show that while working in IT sector, I am getting some management role as well for the higher promotion and everything. That's why I wanted to go for this particular course. Your past visa applications or refusals. So your past visa applications or refusal is also a high risk matter. So if you are having a refusal, or if you are having refusal on visitor visa, student visa, you must maintain and cover those topic in your GTE. Why was your visa was refused, and what was the reason, and what you have mentioned in your previous GTE. So now we'll discuss how we can make a GT document. So we always recommend students to write down the GT statement by themselves, or just do not just blindly trust any authorized person or agent. So always go through your GT document and do some research on your GT document as well. So what GT document contains? Your personal information, your family background, your academic history, your employment background, if the relevant course is related to your background, or what you will do after your completion of your course, why you are choosing Australia, not other country. So on why choosing Australia, there are few most common factors to choose Australia: multicultural, and even the Australia is having very good universities, very good courses, but the other countries are also having similar level of universities or high level of universities. So we always encourage student to mention about particular course, why you wanted to study this particular course, what technologies this university is using, what is the course structure, and then you can cover on that why you wanted to study particular course with particular provider and in Australia only. So value of course to the career prospect in your home country. So after completion of your course, do some research on different websites like Glassdoor or Naukri.com in your home country. What will be the course value after completion of your course, and what you will earn? What will be your salary package in your home country? What companies you will work in your home country after completion of this course? So provide some statistics that these are the expected salary, these are the positions available in different multinational or home country companies. Availability of similar course in home country and its comparison with the Australia. So in IT, accounting, or management courses are also available in your home country as well, and over here in Australia. So why these courses are different to study in Australia, and why this course you do not want to study in your home country? Let's see, we can take the example that when student is studying IT course over there in their home country like India, Nepal, Pakistan, or Sri Lanka, their way of study is only theoretical. They do not learn the practical things, or they are not having that much technology back in universities, or some platforms to study particular language or particular technology. Over here in Australia, you have online campus, you have libraries, and you can just directly access those technologies for the within university. So you will learn those technologies, and even accounting in Australia, which is CPA accredited. So which, like IT accounting courses in Australia, it makes difference when you pass out or when you complete your study and when you go back in your home country. Family ties, financial ties, and social ties. So you, in your GTE, always mention regarding your family ties that you are having your family back home to take care. You will definitely go back. You are having some properties under your name, or you are having, you are like a family person. You always like social gatherings and everything. You are, once if you will settle over here, you will not feel good. You will definitely go back and stay with your family. Additionally, if you are onshore applicant and you, if you have a gap in study, so there are so many students, they don't study on their student visa for 1 year, 6 months. Just mention why, what were the circumstances you didn't study, or you didn't continue your study, you could not pay the fees, and provide the relevant evidence as well regarding your justification. Change in your plans or course, you can change your course, but so there is a one applicant who did IT, bachelor's of IT. He came to study over here, master's of IT, and suddenly after one semester he changed to accounting. But what was the reason why he is changing the course into accounting? So there was, he was working with some accounting firm, and now he wants to study accounting. Their friends were studying accounting, and he saw that accounting in Australia is CPA accredited, and over here accounting is completely different than the India or other country. You can all definitely go for the change of course or change of study plan, but mention about the reason why you wanted to study this particular course. At the end, with like with the explanation, always attach evidentiary documents as well to support your explanation. So GT for family members. GT, so when student is applying visa with the dependent, so dependent GT is also a key factor for the visa success or visa outcome. So while assessing your profile, case officer also see your GT for your family members as well. So if your family members is having um, visa refusals, or if they are having potential circumstances in Australia, or they are having uh, not good circumstances in their home country, that is also matter for your visa outcome as well. So independent GT also mention everything about circumstances in their home country, potential circumstances in Australia, their immigration history, if there is a refusal, why there was a refusal, what was the issue, and if you are submitting your child's dependent visa as well, then mention about your intentions. What if he will if he is above 6, where he will start the study, and what is his enrollment and everything is done. Mention everything in a GT as well. So now we'll discuss one case study regarding GT, how we handled that case, and how we submitted that GT. So student came here in Australia in 2016 to study Bachelor's of Engineering at any university. After one semester, he changed his mind, and he was struggling with the bachelor's, and now he changed his study to Certificate 3 in automobile, Certificate 3 and Certificate 4 in automobile. So student came here to study higher education, and now he has changed his course to vocational studies. So now again he is completed certificate 3 partially and got his COE cancelled due to the non-fees payment. Okay, then he again So certificate 4 is incomplete. He didn't enroll in any college for again 1 year for the whole 2018. Now so now 5 years are finished and now his visa is expiring soon and now he wants to lodge the visa with downgrade visa level. So what should we cover in his GTE? While writing his GTE, we have to mention what was the reason student changed from bachelor's to particular automobile course. He was doing some job in automobile field. That's why he changed the course, and now he wants to study the automobile course. But then why he couldn't pay the fees? We can write down the circumstances. The student lost a job, or might be back home. Student is not having good financial capacity to support his studies. That's why he couldn't make the fees payment and everything. We cover all these area, and regarding his 1 year non-enrollment as well, we cover all these area, and we lodge the visa with downgraded level, so has education to vocational level. But while writing this GT, we have to cover all the points that what was the reason, so case officer can understand his journey and his intentions to study over here in Australia. And another case study for financial is for financial capacity. So student wants to lodge student visa, so because his visa is expiring soon, but he do not have a genuine access to the funds now, and because he couldn't complete the course due to the failure. So only 2 subjects left. Now student has a 3 options to show the funds. Student was from assessment level 3 country and studying in assessment level 3 provider as well. So now he needs to show the funds. Now students, there are 3 options for the student to show the funds. So his brother was here over here in Australia on temporary visa, and he can support her studies. His father is retired 2 years ago back home, and he is having his parental uncle over here in Australia who is Australian citizen and ready to support her. So in this case, his brother cannot support his study because his brother is already on a temporary visa in Australia. So anytime his brother need money for the study or his survivor in Australia, so that is not the recommended option to support her finances, because so brother is over here, it's like she can directly access her his funds. But what if brother will need the money for study or any other financial or any other physical health issues? Father is retired 2 years ago, so father can support his studies, but father has to show more amount of money because father is retired. There is no ongoing annual income coming in. So father and like parents has to support themselves as well, and the student as well. So they have to show more funds that they can support themselves and they can support student as well. Paternal uncle is Australian citizen and ready to support. So paternal uncle can support her definitely, because paternal uncle is having ongoing income over here in Australia, and paternal uncle's fund is like directly student can directly access his funds. So that's not issue in case of this student. So paternal uncle and father can show the fund, but will not recommend his brother on temporary visa to support her financially. So further on, there are few recent changes on student visas. So I'll request Yutin to explain you the further changes on these visas. Thank you.
Thank you, Shruti. All right, I'll share my contents. Three recent changes I would like to share with you about the student visa, and these are all kind of good news because of the COVID-19. So the first one is the student visa fee waiver. It only applies to students who held a student visa on or after 1st of February 2020, and who couldn't complete the course within the original visa validity because of the impact of COVID-19. So here I would like to just explain what what's the definition by of being affected or being impacted or because of COVID-19. So for example, if you are doing a nursing course, or if you're doing the Master of Teaching or Bachelor of Teaching course, the course will consist of the work placement. So, but because of currently the COVID-19 situation, maybe it is very hard. It is very hard for the universities or the colleges to allocate you to the work placement center. So which lead you that you have to extend your student visa. So for in this case, you can apply for the student visa extension for free, because the reason why you cannot complete the course on time is because it is out of your control. It is just because the work placement cannot be arranged on time. However, if you just thinking, okay, I failed my course. If your case is just like I failed units, or I want to defer my course. I deferred my course to one more semester. I postponed my semester, or I feel very stressful. I want to decrease. I want to downgrade reduce the units that I am taking every semester. These reasons leading you to apply for the student visa extension, then these cannot be considered as the case that are affected by COVID-19, because these are all out of your own plan. Okay, so it's not because you have been affected by COVID-19. So be careful. The student visa fee waiver only applies to students who are affected by COVID-19. And the second change is the student fee refund. This refund only applies to students who travel to Australia or who will travel to Australia between 19th January 2022 and the 19th March 2022. So only for people who has just landed Australia or who is going to come to Australia on student visa within these 8 weeks. And the third one, we have already covered this one, this change in the former slides, which is the work limit removal. So currently, all the student visa holders can work unlimited hours. But this removal, this temporary implement will be reviewed in April 2022. So stay close with us. We will give you the most accurate and on-time update. And we still got a few minutes left. We would like to talk to give you some idea about the most frequently asked questions about the student visa. So the first one is, can I apply a student visa onshore while holding a bridging visa? The answer is no. So the student visa can only be applied while you're holding a substantive visa. A bridging visa is not considered as a substantive visa. So the answer is no, you cannot apply the student visa onshore while having a bridging visa. And another scenario is, I forgot my student visa expiry date, and it is already expired. Am I unlawful now? And what my options are? So yes, if the student's student visa is already expired, he is actually considered as unlawful. But what options does he have? He actually, if this is his first time that become unlawful, he might be able to apply the student visa again, considering if the former student visa was just recently expired within the last 28 days. So if your student visa just expired within the last 28 days, you still got the chance to apply the student visa, even if you're not holding any visa currently, even if you're unlawful. But this chance is only one. Everyone only got one chance in their lifetime. So please do remember your student visa expiry date or any type of your visa expiry date, and try to avoid this kind of scenario. And the next question is, can I add my family member to my student visa after it has been granted? The answer is yes. So when you apply for the student visa, you haven't made up your mind whether you want to include your family members, or by that time you were still single, and after you got your student visa, you get married. The answer is yes, you can apply for the student dependent visa for your wife or for your dependent child and let them to come in and stay here together with you. So then I will pass the next page to Shruti.
So there are a few more questions. Um, can I change my course or education provider? So yes, you can change your course or education provider, but if you are on a higher education sector, you change your course on a higher education sector level course, or if you wanted to downgrade your study, we'll recommend you to lodge another student visa by downgrading your study. So you can definitely change your course. You have to complete your 6 months with the current provider, and after completion of your uh, 6 months of your current principal course, you can change it to the another course. And if you wanted to change your course before 6 months, you have to get a release letter or a permission letter from a principal provider, so your current university, to change it to the next university. I intend to lower my education level and study a lower 𝐬𝐞𝐬𝐢 level course. What are my options? So if you wanted to study your a lower level course, so example, you came here to study higher education bachelor's or master's, now you wanted to study vocational level course, then we will always recommend student to change your visa and apply for the another visa by downgrading your study level, so higher education to vocational level course. And if you do not want to change your visa, just while getting enrollment into the vocational level course, just maintain your level of your study by getting another COE after completion of your studies, of your vocational level studies. Can I study more than one course at a time? Yes, you can study one more than one course at a time, but it should not be like a class of clashes of your timetable, and it should be approved from your um, provi- uh, principal provider. So if you are doing masters and if you wanted to study another uh, vocational level course like painting or cookery, carpentry, you just check your timetable and got your another course, trade course in like Saturday, Sunday classes, or the days which you are not having on that day you were not having lectures for your masters or bachelors. Uh,
Thank you, guys. Is it still going?
there is only
Okay, so do you want me to quickly go through the last 4 questions? So the next question is, I have completed my current course. How soon do I have to start my next course while on student visa? All right, so generally you need to start your next course within 60 days. So the maximum duration that you can be, you cannot, you can like, um, you can be on student visa while not studying is 60 days. All right, but the exemption is if you finish your first course, let's say in end of October or end of November, and followed by the Christmas break, followed by the summer break, and your next COE start date is February. So from November to February, that's actually more than 60 days. But in this scenario, you do not need to worry because you're not like break any condition, because this is just in the summer break. That is totally fine. There is no course available for you. Okay, so the second question is, I have a gap in my COE beyond the acceptable limit, which is 60 days. What are my options? So your option is you can just study another short-term course, such as the in-between, such as the English preparation course for just few weeks time to cover this gap. And the next one is, what is the current work condition on student visa during COVID-19? This one I have already covered. So I hope everyone already know the answer. You can currently work unlimited hours. The last one question is, I was studying online offshore due to COVID-19 travel restriction in 2021. Am I eligible for a refund of OHSC? insurance for that period? The answer is yes. So as soon as you reach Australia, okay, as soon as you landed, you can contact the insurance company by providing the evidence that you in the past few months or 1 year you were studying overseas. So they will give you the refund.
Thank you guys for this amazing session, but I would like you to answer a few questions dropped in a chat box, please.
Yep. Sorry, just let me check the question.
Yeah, okay. The first question is from Isha. I have completed my Bachelor's of Food and Nutrition from Bangladesh. Can I get student visa for Masters of Nursing in Australia, or will they refuse it? So you have completed your Bachelor's in Food and Nutrition already from Bangladesh, and now you want to study Masters of Nursing in Australia. So you are from food and nutrition background, but if you have done any internship or any job in between in healthcare field, or if you have like worked in NGO or during the COVID to help the people or to cure to help the people regarding the COVID and anything, we can make for Masters of Nursing, you can get the admission in Masters of Nursing without relevant background, but for the visa purpose, we need to mention about in the GTE that you were working in that field or you got like a background. So your parents or your siblings are nurse or doctor. That's why you got motivated and you want to study nursing and serve the country. So for this, you can contact us on any time on our email or mobile number. We'll definitely get your query sorted and your admission sorted for Masters of Nursing. So other question is, you think, is there an age limit for student visa?
Yeah, so just now when we mentioned, there is actually no age limit for those who want to apply for it, but you must be aged no less than 6 years old. Okay. But if you are quite like, let's say, if you normally for student visa applicant, they are around their 20 years, 30 years, or 40 years. But if you are like more than 40 years old, we would suggest you to apply the higher education, such as your master degree. Instead of just doing the trade courses, but also we need to take your education background and your employment background into consideration just to see how many years of education like gap you have. Maybe you have already like finished your study maybe more than 20 years ago. If in that case, yeah, the GTE might be a problem. So we need to take into consideration case by case about your age and also your education and employment background. And I can see the very first question is from Tashan. He's asking, how can I check my country in which level? So actually there is a document checklist tool available on the Home Affairs, Department of Home Affairs website under the student visa category. So you can have a look there by typing your nationality and also your education provider. But if you couldn't find it, just contact us and we will help you to find it. All right, and there's another question is from Lucky. If I am applying under 189 independent skill migration, do I still need to provide huge financial evidence? Okay, so today our topic is about student visa. The financial evidence we're talking about is for student visa application. So under 189, it is general skill migration. You just need to meet the requirement for the independent migration instead of this requirement for student visa. So for 189 visa, you do not have to provide any financial document. And do we have any more questions? Oh, yes. I am a licensed doctor in the Philippines and will apply for a limited registration in Australia. Can I study while working? So you mean you are currently a doctor and you will apply for a limited registration in Australia. So I guess you will apply through the assessment body. And I'm not very sure which visa you will come here. If you will come here on student visa, of course you can work like what we say. Currently, student visa holder, they have unlimited work condition. But if you just come here to do a very short course, on visitor visa condition does not have any work right. So if you're coming here on visitor visa, unfortunately you cannot work. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you so much for attending this session. Don't forget to leave your review for this session. A review link will be shared in the chat box. For your feedback, much appreciated. Don't miss out on next sessions on the exciting topics. Join straight away through the links in the chat box. Thank you.